Welcome to the extended overview of the FusionFox Enterprise Resource Planning solution. The agenda of today's extended overview is to run through the entire solution along with its custom modules. The presentation agenda shall be as follows: an introduction to the FusionFox ERP, the technological advantages of the FusionFox ERP, the login as well as the landing page credentials, the business process robotics and the internal workflow management system, the master data management system, the business structure and legal entity setup, the financial and supply chain management system, customer relationship management, your enterprise asset PMS scheduling and fixed asset management system, the human capital management system, which allows onboarding as well as managing the HR of any organization, your IFRS and IAS based reporting tools, business intelligence, as well as value-added features. The FusionFox Enterprise Resource Planning solution is one that is built on Oracle Fusion middleware with a service-oriented architecture. Oracle Fusion middleware is the future-proof technology that is being pushed by Oracle for its own products and for developers globally. The FusionFox ERP is one of the very few solutions that developed on the service-oriented architecture, thereby allowing it to integrate data seamlessly with any application developed on any platform, making it platform independent and application independent. The FusionFox ERP is developed on a machinery layout. The machinery layout is a responsive layout. It's an intuitive UI experience with powerful visualization tools. When we speak about visualization, we speak about data visualization templates, your DVTs. These are graphics that pick up information from all across the application and give the senior management a bird's eye view of all operations from a business group or an organization. As an example, this is a dashboard for the CRM portfolio holder. It shows you your opportunity by sales stage, your salesman opportunities, your top 10 opportunities, your vertical wise opportunities, product wise opportunities also. In a graphical view, in a matter of seconds, you can get an idea of your daily, weekly, or any period-wise activity. The same follows for an HCM dashboard. This is again how we have utilized those data visualization components to view large amount of data in a matter of seconds. As an HCM dashboard, just as an example, you have a salary comparison department-wise, you have a compensation analyzer. If your operations are global, you have a visualization tools that tells you on a map which resources are available where. You have a salary breakup department-wise also. So this is just a small example of the capability of the DVT components that CoFusion has utilized in its FusionFox ERP. Another example is its asset facility and maintenance management dashboard. For any kind of PMS scheduling activity or for facility management, this dashboard gives you a single page view to assess the situation of your assets on whether any upcoming maintenance routines or any breakdowns that have happened. Now diving into the application itself, the FusionFox Enterprise Resource Planning solution is a cloud-enabled solution which allows browser-based access, which makes it independent of any browser or independent of any device. It can be accessed on a mobile device as friendly as well on a computer, on a laptop device. Therefore, as the user reaches the login page via the link provided, if he or she has access to the application, the link will open up in his or her device, whichever device they wish to access the application from. Now the application has a 3-tier login system wherein as per the designation and roles and responsibilities assigned, access is determined. For our sample user, access is limited to the organization Royal Dutch Marine Services, but has access to all the operating units for the organization. Users assigned roles such as organization heads, division heads, or senior management for that organization of a business group have such level of access. As we can see, the user has access to Royal Dutch Marine Services, but he can access the data from all the operating units or access an individual operating unit. If a blank option is selected, then a consolidated view shall be created where information shall be pertaining to all the operating units that the user has access to. The solution is a multilingual one where the user can choose to view the solution in the language of choice. Now, as we log into the solution, we get a view of the entire application stack of the FusionFox ERP. This is the entire stack of applications, your business processes, workflow, and notification stack. The FusionFox Enterprise Resource Planning has solutions and strengths to help any organization pertaining to any business vertical to be automated. As we have visibility to the entire application stack, let's begin the extended overview with one of the strongest elements of the FusionFox Enterprise Resource Planning solution. That is its product process robotics functionality, which is achieved by our comprehensive and inbuilt workflow management solution. The workflow management solution provided by FusionFox Enterprise Resource Planning is visible clearly over here. This is where organizations can determine of how processes will be automated. This is where the definition of the workflow takes place. The entire company hierarchy is defined within the system based on which workflows are determined for business processes. As in our current example, a workflow for purchase order is being defined over here. A purchase order approval workflow for particular projects. Its active dates, the workflow name and ID, what kind of workflow is it? It's a transaction type workflow because a purchase order is taking place. It's an active. Which application will it be pertaining to and which transaction type? So you can clearly define a workflow for an application, for a transaction type, and do any description for it. The workflow that we've defined over here is a 3-level workflow where approval needs to be taken, a single approval needs to be taken from all these 3 entities. Now these are basically people with roles assigned. You define that what will be the PO review stage or a project manager approval and a budget approval. Now based on this, whichever person is assigned for that particular role, an automatic approval message goes to that individual. The reason is that we have defined approval processes based on roles, not on the basis of individuals, because employees can change, but how the system works shouldn't. There are 3 levels of hierarchy for this kind of approval. The stipulated action is defined and the response-based forwarding is triggered. On the basis of the response of these particular individuals, the forward action will take place. An approval from one will lead to the second to give an approval. A consultation from the second person to a parallel colleague will not go to the final approval but go to a parallel colleague. Based on the response of the reviewer, the request is forwarded to its next path. In this manner, once a workflow methodology has been stipulated in the system, all participants or employees need to adhere by it, which makes sure that the redundant tasks are automated and predetermined decision making becomes autonomous. Now, as we see in another one of our applications over here, we have my workflow and actions. These are the workflows for that particular employee, the requests or the authorizations that have come to that particular employee. As we were talking about the purchase order approval, now the employee that is into consideration over here, he is one of the entities or one of the roles that needs to approve for this kind of a purchase order to go further. So if you click over here, you can see what that purchase order is for, what's the rate, what's the value, total cost of that project, and whether he wants to approve it, reject it, or consult it further. Now this shows, once you define a workflow, any kind of business process can be automated. Now, as we were saying over here, if we click submit, we click on approve, then the action will be approved and it will go to the next person in line. Another core functionality of the FusionFox ERP is its methodology of showing information in a visualized manner. These are our data visualization tools which form a dashboard for any kind of service senior management or project head or a product manager to view his day's details or organization performance in one single page. The advantage of the dashboards provided by FusionFox is you can create your own dashboards. All of these dashboards defined over here have been created by end users. A team leader dashboard, an AE dashboard, a custom dashboard, a financial analyzer dashboard, a branch dashboard, and you can pick up whatever component you feel suits well for that information. Define what all information you wish to see, and any of these tools will be visible to you. As an example, this is for somebody who is handling an asset, an activity outbound delegations. or a service outbound delegation, he wants to view it in a pie chart. So any kind of information can be viewed graphically and customized to your personal need by the end user. After having a look at the My Workflow and how the workflow works, as well as the DVTs and the visualization components, this is where the notifications come once an approval request or any kind of request or any kind of intimation needs to be sent to a person, whether automatic or an autonomous intimation or a user-driven intimation. This is where you get an overview of how many notifications and how many actions do you need to take for your day or for that particular period. This is your timeline, which will predict how much time do you have for giving an approval or a consultation that has come to you. Now, going beyond this, let's get into the master data management, which holds all the important information pertaining to our particular applications. Getting into the specifics, we have our item information management. Another, we have an item master express if the organization is not largely dealing into items and needs minimal information. Then we have customer master express and customer information management being the same, whether a base smaller version or a full scale comprehensive version. The same for the vendors. Then we have a concept of our cataloging, where items can be defined and determined to be accessed by only one particular operating unit. This is a revolutionary concept because this is not prevalent in the market leaders of the enterprise resource planning from decades. Once an item was defined, it had to be visible to every single operating unit, every single business group who had access to that application. What the FusionFox Enterprise Resource Planning application does is it allows access only to those people who have privilege to access that particular item. Getting into the specifics of it, this is the particular item information management module. Now, if we have a look at this particular item where you're talking about alternator pulley with the item ID as defined, this is the information for that particular item. It's a very comprehensive solution which defines and lets you determine any kind of information, and anything that's defined for the item specifically over here is how the item behaves in the entire application. Which vendor group does it belong to, whether it's going to be procured or not, whether you're allowed to maintain stock against it or not, any kind of substitutes if that particular item is not available, what are the warehouse details on its availability in each particular warehouse. This is real time because it's integrated with our warehouse management system. We have our document management system integrated into every module, which allows you to assign, upload technical specification documents, any kinds of images or any kind of documents relating to that particular item. You can determine the dimensions for it because we have our transport management system coming up, which will utilize information coming from over here. Any kind of attributes that the item has that you specifically would like to add, any other details, and a graphical view of how much stock is available. For now, we have only 3 warehouses defined, but you have multiple warehouses. This kind of a graphical view gives you a lot of advantage of viewing your stock availability. This allows you to determine how the product will behave when it goes into the sales or the procurement cycle. You can define whether you can define multiple units of measurement. Maybe it's procured in your primary unit of measurement and it needs to be sold in your secondary unit of measurement, which can be defined. If you're dealing into items which need to follow a first in, first out or a last in, first out, it can be determined over here, and on that basis, the stock and lot will be selected automatically for you. Any expirations or hazardous actions that need to take place once the item expires, or any hazard types that it has, because it complies with any kind of policies. The shelf life can be determined over here. The maximum stock you're allowed to hold for that particular item. You're allowed all of that to be defined in one single application. That's the item information management. And as I spoke about cataloging, you define your catalog over here. This particular item belongs to the engine spare parts catalog. Now you can go dwell further and divide catalogs into parent-child relationships and assign a catalog to a particular operating unit. If an item belongs to a catalog and that catalog is added into a particular organization or particular operating unit's item list, only then that item will be visible. This allows you to maintain distinction between your items for each particular operating units. Getting back to it, we have our customer information management module, which is yet again a comprehensive customer master, maintaining your key contacts, your shipping locations, and very importantly, your credit details, whether how much credit are you allowed to give to a particular customer. Like as an example, the Omega factory is one of the customers that we've selected over here. Again, you have your contract details. As our document management system is uploaded, you can create a contract within the system and the system will follow those rules and regulations. You have the credit control policies determining over here once, because the sales management system is integrated with the finance. Therefore, once the client reaches a credit limit and has not made payment, then the system will not allow you to generate any more sales for that particular client. Any kind of office details, contacts, or any notes or any specific information you have pertaining to that client can be filled out over here. Banking information once defined over here, then client has made payment, then only can be made payment through these details. The important thing is to maintain control. As we're speaking about customer master, this is our entire module of your master data management. Now here we come back to our original application and our entire application stack. As we see in our entire application stack, it covers all your modules and all the business processes for automating any organization belonging to any business vertical. For that matter, let's get into the business structure and the entity setup, which is the first application that the end client runs when using the FusionFox Enterprise Resource Planning solution. That is determining any business group details, your legal entity setup, that is defining any organization within this business group, then defining operating units within these organizations. Therefore, it allows you a 3-tier system where a business group owner having multiple businesses and multiple organizations can be taken care of within one enterprise resource planning solution.